Welcome back, everyone. We've got some really, really old stories to dive into today. I mean, we're talking ancient writings, oral traditions passed down for, well, who knows how long.
Millennia is a good starting point.
Exactly. Millennia. And what's so interesting is this one theme that just keeps popping up. It's like a whisper, but across cultures and across time.
It's the idea of this huge world-altering wave, a wave that changes, well, everything.
Yeah.
And that's kind of our mission today, right? To figure out why this particular idea of a global reset keeps coming back again and again and again.
And it really does. You see it everywhere. From those Mesopotamian texts, the ones we talked about
Oh,
before,
yeah, those are fascinating.
to indigenous stories, I mean, literally across the globe. So it's not just like a local thing, right? It's like a,
Tidal wave of a concept, you could say.
yeah,
I mean, it really makes you think, what kind of shared human experience or maybe a fear that goes back way, way, way back, even before we were writing things down?
right. I mean, there's something that happened, some real world event that was so big, so huge that it just kind of stuck with us in our collective memory.
It's a good question. I mean, on the one hand, we've got real natural disasters, right? Tsunamis, floods, things like that that could have had that kind of impact. But on the other hand, there's the symbolism of water itself, and that's pretty powerful too.
Because water can destroy, but it can also, cleanse.
Exactly. It's both chaos and purification all in one. So this giant wave in these stories, it becomes this symbol. It destroys everything, but then it also wipes the slate clean.
And it lets something new begin. Okay, but why a wave? Of all the ways the world could end, why is this one, this wave image, so common?
You know, it's a good question. And I think it goes back to that idea of total destruction. Fire can burn things, yeah, but it often leaves stuff behind, right?
Mm.
Earthquakes are pretty localized. But a global wave, that's like,
Oh, a steep.
yeah, it's total, right? It's a total immersion. The whole world changes. And maybe that's it, that sense of finality. And then after that, a brand new start. Maybe that's why it's such a strong and lasting image.
Okay. So we're looking at these ancient stories, we're seeing this wave again and again. But what does all of that tell us, about humans, like now? Why do we still seem kind of drawn to this idea of the world being, well, kind of swept clean?
Well, if you think about it, these stories, they might connect to something deep in us, something about cycles, how things end and then begin again. I mean, it happens in nature all the time.
Right, like the seasons.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And even though the idea of everything being destroyed is scary,
Mm-hmm.
it also kind of has this hope in it too, like this chance to do things better.
Learn from the mistakes, start fresh.
Right. The wave, it doesn't just get rid of the old world, it maybe gets rid of the old mistakes too.
So let's recap for a second. We've been on this deep dive into these ancient stories, and we keep seeing this image, this giant wave. It ends one world and then it starts another. It's about destruction, yeah, but it's also about hope.
So that brings us to maybe the biggest question of all.
Hmm.
Why does this idea, this ways, this destruction, this rebirth, why does it resonate with so many different people and so many different places over such a huge amount of time? What does it say about, well, us, about our place in the world, about our worries, and about maybe our hopes?
Lots to think about. Until next time.
See you then.